I want to ask you this: how has Korea changed you in 16 years? What are the things that you learned, even while doing your business, while living here? Some of the things that you learned here that changed you in that 16 years to be a better person.
A lot of people, when they go to a foreign country,
Yes,
they compare to what they know back home, and they consider back home the norm, and they consider back home the right way to do things. So New Zealand does things differently to Korea, law-wise, culture-wise. But the way I see it is that it's just done differently. So rather than look at the things that you consider to be worse than your country, look at the things that are better.
yes,
They're doing this better, they're doing this better, they're doing this better. Imagine if you took that back to New Zealand. Imagine if you learned that and took it home. That's what I say. When I go to Vietnam or when I go to Japan, same thing. I look at what they're doing better and try to take that back. There are things that the Koreans do that are amazing, that could be implemented in other countries that would help society. How has it changed me as a person? I'm very open culture. I understand now. I remember being young and you met the immigrant that struggled with language.
Yes.
And oftentimes when people say, oh, the guy can't speak English well, you know, he can't be that smart. In his own language, he's a bloody genius. He just can't express himself in English because it's a second language. And coming here and not being able to speak the native language to begin with, and then learning it, and then realizing you've learnt it, but you haven't learnt it enough to express yourself fully, deeply.
Yes.
You know, so it makes you very aware of how hard it is to be an immigrant in another country.
That's right.
Particularly language and culture. And then culture-wise, at the beginning, Koreans would do things, and why are they doing it like that? And I thought, when people come to New Zealand, they must be thinking the same thing. Why are Kiwis doing like that? And Kiwis would see them doing something different, saying, oh, that's the wrong way to do it. That's the terrible way to think. I give you an example. My Maori uncle and I used to go fishing all the time, and we would go catch crabs down at the wharf, put the net down, pull it up, and there'd be crabs in it. We were fishing one day, and the crabs were too small, so we just kept throwing them back. 50 meters down the wharf, there was an Asian group catching crab, and they were catching the smallest crabs you've ever seen. And to my uncle and I at the time, we thought that was disrespectful. Why are you taking such small crab? How are you going to eat that? Nobody can eat that. And they were filling the buckets up and they were having a great time. My uncle and I left feeling uncomfortable that they were doing that, and it was disrespectful to us. I come to Korea, I go to the supermarket, it's full of the tiniest crabs you've ever seen, and it's a delicacy. They eat that all the time, and to them, it's normal. So that cultural imbalance, or just the unknown of why they're doing things, you learn that when you come to another culture. Now I look back and I was like, those people were catching their dinner. They were so happy. They're going to go home and marinate those crabs and eat them whole. Whereas Kiwis, we would never cook a small crab and eat it because we just don't know how to do it. It's not cultural for us. So those things, business practice, no matter how polite and genuine people are, Korea's seen to be a safe country, low crime.
Yes, that's right.
But people will still steal your money when it comes to business. There are bad people in every culture in every country. New Zealanders have terrible people when it comes to business.
Have you had any
Koreans do. I'm sure Nigerians do. Of course. I think Nigerians are famous for it.
I'm looking at Nigerians that there are bad people everywhere.
But there are good and bad people.
Yeah, there are good and bad.
I think the idea of a stereotype is quite bad because if you say, "Oh, Korea's a safe country," yes, nobody's going to steal your phone off the desk. But when you do a merger, the other company is going to try to push you out and take your share of your stock without fairly compensating you. Which is worth more, your stock of your company or your phone? They'll steal the more expensive thing.